The Boss and the Sauce Show.
Boss and the Sauce Show.
Boss and the Sauce Show.
Boss and the Sauce Show. Here we go.
Let's keep it rolling. We had a comment in the chat about the North Texas and UTEP game. So they have North Texas as the favorite. The over and under is 55, and this game comes on the 22nd, and that's North Texas and UTEP. You got notes on that one, Big Ragu?
North Texas, UTEP. Yeah, let me see what I got here on that game. So, yeah, basically, UTEP. Let's see what we got here. Let's go back to – so, yeah, I got UTEP. UTEP, they're playing – this game is being played at UTEP, I believe. And
yes.
As far as the Miners, I say they lost – they're in the rebuild mode. They're trying to get things back on track. They weren't a bad team. Like, we bet them. If you remember last year, we had a lot of action back in the Miners. They cashed a lot of tickets for us last year. And the Mean Green, that was the team that, it was kind of up and down the board for me. But, I mean, the thing is, the big news for North Texas is they get Seth Luttrell this year as a head coach. He's an up and coming coach. A lot of guys are liking this guy, but he's known for cranking up offenses. He's one of those. Excuse me. He's one of those type guys that could kind of get the offense going with his schemes. And North Texas, they've been more hit and miss on the offense. So I think they were talking about their quarterback situation. They got a guy named Austin On, which I'm not really familiar with. I read about his accuracy. He's had some accuracy, putting the ball up and down the field. And they got a transfer from North Carolina, Jace Reuter. So I don't know. I guess they're kind of competing for the job. And then they also they got a former Arizona Wildcat and Memphis Tiger, Grant Gunnell. So this is like his third team. So I'm going to assume maybe he might have the edge to start at quarterback. And the other thing was North Texas, they had a running back, Ragsdale, and he was I guess he was a 1,215-yard, or excuse me, DeAndre Toney. So they get Ragsdale now to step in. So Toney was a 1,200-yard rusher last year, 13 TDs, so they got to replace him. On offense. Defensively speaking, let's see. They allowed a couple 500-yard rushing games, won the Appalachian State. So they need to tighten that up, obviously. And then the passing game, like I was saying, they have some accuracy issues. And Grant Gunnell, yeah. So that's what I was saying. Grant Gunnell was the sophomore. He was a redshirt freshman last year, and then he transferred over to North Texas this year. So he's probably going to get some playing time there. And let's see, and their key game later on, they're saying is going to be against UTSA, which we don't care about that today. And as far as UTEP goes, UTEP had an offense that was averaging about 25 points a game, right around 400 yards, and they lost their leading receiver, Jacob Cowens, off to Arizona. And their 7 wins in a bowl appearance last year. It was the best season they had since 2014. And let's see what else we got on UTEP. Let's see. UTEP turned over the ball 24 times last year and coughed it up 6 times against Boise. So that's something they definitely need to improve upon. But they wound up getting a wide receiver. Tyron Smith is going to be their key player, they say, and the key transfer they got was some kid from JUCO, Santa Barbara, is averaging 21 yards per punt as a wide receiver. He's averaging 17 yards per try. And that's it for UTEP. UTEP. So basically, I think the number on this game, we're looking at a 1.5, 55.5 points is the total. So I mean, so North Texas 5 straight regular seasons game to close out the 2017. Okay, so they closed out the season last year over UTEP as the last game. So UTEP is probably going to be looking for a little revenge right here in this spot. So they finished up the season last year with the 2017 loss to UTEP, and they're going to look for a little revenge here. So I didn't do a lot of homework on this particular game, but it's an interstate rival. It's a lower level game, but it should be interesting here to try to figure out what's going on. It's like I say, it's 1.5 and 55. I don't have a lot of look on it, but it wasn't one of my games that I was going to be getting to the window with this week or next week, should I say.
Well, I think this one for me, Big Ragu, I seen it a couple other different ways, and I might get to the window with this one. I might be a little greedy this year. I might go a little volume and decrease my unit down a little bit and go more value this year. I mean, volume on my bets. But Seth Latrell, man, 7th year over here, man. He's did a decent job with North Texas. He's been able to develop the run, had a really tough defense. But his biggest issues this year is that he lost 3 of his top defensive players. So he's going to be replacing some things on the defense where he got his money. He's a kind of a run-first guy, and he does return 4 offensive linemen. So I think they will be able to light the scoreboard up some. And he has a lot of reason being why he needs to do it, because rumors say that he's lowered his buyout value because he may be on the hot seat over here. So
really,
yeah, he might have it a little tough over there. So I don't know how he's going to respond to that. But UTEP on the other hand, and Dana Dimmel, that's one of my he's a 5th-year coach now. Last year I was on him a little more. He did really well. He got this team to their first bowl game in a while, which meant a lot to the fans. I mean, you see how the UTSA fans was jumping up and down for their success. Now these guys, they got people down there just as excited about the whole thing right here. And in this one, I kind of think the wrong team's a little favored. I think the line should be close. I think the wrong team may be favored because this UTEP team, the only downfalls that they really have that they lost from last year is a couple at wideout, which they've been able to piece together a couple things, and a couple at cornerback. But his 6 up front on defense should be more experienced and a lot better up there. So I think the defense may step it up a notch, and I think the offense, they'll survive for sure. Receivers nowadays kind of come a dime a dozen. I think that you can get a receiver out there to catch the ball. You get a couple of them out there to catch the ball. So I think everybody's bought in on this one. Both return quarterbacks from last year. Both have decent returners. North Texas returned 8 on offense, 5 on defense. UTEP returned 7 on offense, 8 on defense. But I think that it's a revenge spot for UTEP. They're going to be at home. It's a Texas thing. It may be one of those things where the home team wins every time. So I'm going to lean on the home team side, and I like UTEP, basically money line. But I also like the over in this one because when you break it all down, basically we got 2 experienced offenses that we know could put points on the board, 2 good offensive line, which always helps out with scoring, 2 recurring quarterbacks, which also has a room for improvement. They could pick up right where they left off. And like I said, North Texas will run well, and UTEP will pass well despite losing a few receivers. As far as the defense in the secondary, that might be their weak spot. And North Texas quarterback might be able to move he has moved the ball down the middle of the field a few times during the season, although they're like a run first. He can't hit them over the middle. But my eye test, the overall excitement is at UTEP. I mean, they're doing cartwheels and flips from the fans, the staff, the players, and everything. And it makes a lot of sense. Dana Demo, he's come Demo. I'm the worst pronunciation person, but he's come a long way, and they're saying that his method is a little mixture of JUCO players with a couple transfers, and it's been working with him. He's right on point with where he's supposed to be as a 5th-year coach as far as his depth and his players, his recruiting, and all that stuff. So I'm gonna lean on the side of the team that I think has a better edge, which is gonna be UTEP. I'm sorry.
UTEP. Yeah, I mean that score, like I said, 2017 last year, and little revenge factor here for them. Just for the most part. And like I said, we backed them pretty heavily last year in a lot of spots. So it's probably a good look going forward. Like I say, I didn't do my homework on this one. I didn't get into depth on this particular one, but it makes a lot of sense. And like I said, they're hanging a 55, so they're expecting some points here. So, and it's probably going to be a last possession type of game, And like you said, with revenge on their mind, probably looks like a good little spot here.
Yeah, so I like that one right there. As far as the line movement on that one, I'm not sure. I think, if anything, the line might go further away from UTEP because a lot of people made money with the Mean Green last year too, because they had some exciting games too. So it might move. For some reason, the books are making it look like they're the more experienced, better team, and the people are probably going to eat up the same thing. And I think, like you said, you've seen the one. I did this line quite a few days ago. So you said it's already 1.5 and 55.5. So
yeah,
we don't really catch a lot of twos nowhere. So it'll probably sit on 1.5.
Yeah, it's been bouncing around 1.5 to 1, back to 1.5, and same thing with the total. Total is 55.5, 56, 55, 54.5, 55. So yeah, there's money jumping back and forth. It's probably and this game is on 9 o'clock. 9 o'clock on the 27th. The other game, like you said, the first game we talked about, they don't have a time determined yet for that one in the Nevada game, but this game's at 9 o'clock p.m.
Yeah, that was a difficult thing. Is some of these times are not determined. Kind of messes up your cap on weather or whatever. But it's the hot months anyway, so it's either going to be hot or going to be hotter. But that's basically it on that one. Let's jump into another one. You got any last comments on that one?
Nah. Nope, nothing. All you on that one, my man.
Let's jump.